This is Dr. G, and this is That Monday. Growing up, my father was really into two things: hip-hop, music, and fashion. I would have like the little matching outfits, the little Adidas outfits that I see people wear now. I would have, Little Al, he would have Big Al, I had fat shoelaces, Adidas, and so forth, Whenever, and he had the Big Al, so forth, we would, be matching, don't judge us, be matching, and so forth. Music, man, my pops would have the music before I did, before my friends did, the new music that came out. I remember waking up and just hearing like EPMD and Run DMC and so forth, My pops was very much into that. Now that I'm a father, I see that it's almost the same exact thing. Like, you see my son, if you guys know him, dressed kind of fresh like somebody, and saying that, I see that, I kind of passed on those things to my son, if you will, and my sons for that matter. It's a little bit like David. David's getting towards the end of his life. He's grown, he has the Goliath incident. He has, the Bathsheba. He grown from that. He wins wars and so forth. And he realizes that he has to pass something on, especially to the most important thing, to God himself. Because he realizes back in the day, whenever he was out in the fields and so forth, he had a deep relationship with God. And he wants to do something for God. He wants to pass something on to the next generation, if you will. So what ends up happening is he's like, hey, I want to build a house for God. Well, he goes to this prophet. Prophet Nathan is like, hey, sounds like a good idea. Tell you what, sleep on it, so forth. So they go home. God comes to Nathan in the middle of the night. Nathan comes to David the next day and is just like, look. God told me to tell you this. He said, look, you're going to get a house with a name for God. God's going to build a house for name that's going to have his name on it forever. He's going to have a throne that's going to last forever. And he's going to have a kingdom that lasts forever. These three things. So a name, a house with a name, a throne, and land forever. A kingdom forever. Does that make sense? So throne, kingdom, name. Those three things. So obviously we know that it doesn't happen with David because of what happens with him and so forth. But it happens with his son, Solomon. Now here's the thing. Solomon prefigures, it's kind of like a smaller way of looking at who this threefold promise gets carried out, and that's Jesus himself. So here's the thing. Whenever we were small and so forth, God kind of promises stuff to us. And God sends certain people in our own lives to kind of, remember these things. So here's the question. Who are some of those things? Who are some of those people that have helped you remember what God has called you to from the beginning? And do you have anybody that you listen to like that, especially like a spiritual director or anything along those lines? So during this time of Lent, as we close out and so forth, I want to challenge you to think about those things and hopefully put those things into practice. You guys have a blessed day.